It's the 5th of November. This is the Weekly Spread.
Good Sunday to you all. I'm Jason. This is Rick.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the Weekly Spread, the show where we talk shit about stuff that we like throughout the week. And we spread our thoughts and feelings to you. How you been doing this week, Rick?
Good, mate. Yeah, it has been a big week. It definitely has been.
What have
Busy
you been
week.
up to in the Ricardo universe?
In the Ricardo universe, besides the usual work, just catching up on a lot of TV shows, because I was away.
Yep.
So I'm just catching up on my shows, which is really, really good.
Fantastic.
So, a lot of quality viewing there. I purchased my tickets for Stan Lee. Yep. Very, very excited. So stay tuned for that, guys.
That's right, Rick.
That's
going to a meet.
Yes, meet and greet with Stan Lee. Yeah, so that will be in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned there for guys.
Fan.
So I cannot wait. So going to get a few things autographed, and we'll definitely show you guys on the channel. So I'm very, very excited, Jace.
Okay,
so it'll be good. And how about yourself?
Well, I have certainly been mate, making this stuff for a start. Keeping me busy.
That's it.
Lots of work. No, honestly, watching a lot of Stan, a lot of Netflix this week. There's some really great shows out there. But you know what? We can do this all night long. Let's get straight into movies. All right, Rick. Now, certainly it's been it's a big old ride over in Hollywood at the moment with everything that's going on there. Obviously, with the situation with Harvey Weinstein now, Kevin Spacey. But we're not even going to go anywhere near that. But some of the byproduct of what's happening over there with Harvey Weinstein has caused some real shift and changes to happen.
Yeah.
Number one being Quentin Tarantino. Now, Quentin Tarantino has made all of his films with the Weinstein Company.
Yes. Yeah.
And certainly now that has come to an end. His involvement with the Weinstein organisation has ceased. And Quentin Tarantino is looking for a new studio home. Now, what this makes is a big deal because Quentin has a new script that he's been working on for a new film. Now, the film is about the Sharon Tate murders. You ever heard of them, Rick?
No.
I'm referring to?
No.
Roman Polanski, a famous director, his wife was slaughtered by Charles Manson.
Wow.
And his cult members. So, certainly a very, very famous Hollywood story. He's currently talking to Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Samuel Jackson to be involved. And it looks like he might even have Margot Robbie playing Sharon Tate. So really, at the end of the day, what makes it really more fascinating is not only does this sound like something Quentin's going to be really good at in a way of subject matter, but the fact that he's actually got to find a new home now, and apparently the deal is that a lot of studios, mate, there's a lot of money being thrown around. Everybody is trying to get Quentin on their butts.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean,
exactly.
Quentin Tarantino is arguably the greatest filmmaker we've had in the last 40 to 50 years. So, absolutely very interesting. I, for one, though, can't wait to see Quentin Tarantino's next film.
Is this be number 9?
It may be number 9, yeah. I think that is number 9 and then number 10.
He said he was going to stop at 10.
Stop at 10. He's also stated very clearly that if a good idea comes up, he would come out of retirement. So, look, it'll be very interesting to see when he takes his time to make these films. He doesn't just make one every year. So it could be a couple of years away, could be a year away. We don't actually know. But I'm sure Quentin, wherever he lands, whatever studio, he'll make a hell of a film. Now let's move on to a little bit of something different. Something we actually talked about last week, Rick, which was Shazam. Now Shazam is obviously a DC property, very famous. One of their old tentpole characters. Well, we found out that David F. Sandberg, the director of little horror films, is Annabelle Creation and Lights Out, has now taken the reins. But there's been some more casting news since then. And number one was Zachary Levi being cast in Shazam. Okay. Now, there is some, Zachary Levi? Think about the TV show Chuck. Remember a TV show
Chuck? Yeah.
That's the main character from there. He also played Fandrel 2.0 in Thor the Dark World, and for a slight cameo in Thor Ragnarok.
Cool.
So, he's been cast. Some people are really surprised about the casting choice. And I am too, honestly. But I think there's real potential there. So, I'll be really can't wait to see the first kind of bit of footage. But there's been others cast as well in this, and probably the one most notably for me is Mark Strong. Now, Mark Strong, if you're not aware, he's the bald guy out of the Kingsman movies.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But he's a great actor. He can be very villainous when he needs to be, and certainly has shown that in some of his previous performances. So he's touted to be the bad guy in the film, so that'll be really great.
Good to see.
So it's amazing to me, a film that was really off the radar there for a while in the DC universe.
Come back.
Now it's back in a big bad way. There's a lot of traction going. So it looks like we're going to see this film, like I said, before the sequel to Suicide Squad, before Flashpoint, before Batgirl, hell, before Justice League 2. So it's going to be really weird to see this film on screen, honestly. But hey, let's have a look.
That's right. Yeah.
Excellent. Now let's move on to the last story I've got, Rick. I'll just click one little button there. This one story here is about, probably the biggest film of next year.
Of course.
It has to be the biggest. Nothing's going to go in.
Nah.
Avengers Infinity War. We're still waiting on, unless you were lucky enough to be at the Comic-Con Hall H, or you've seen the real blurry version online, you haven't seen any footage of the Infinity War trailer, and gee, we're all waiting on bated breath for that. But there's a bit of news coming out. There's a CNET was actually talking to Anthony Russo, one of the directors of Infinity War, and I found it very interesting, some of his comments, because he went in to describe how Infinity War, in many ways, is a heist movie. And it's told primarily from the point of view of Thanos. So we're going to see a film that really, Thanos is the person driving the narrative in this film. He's the main character, and he's pulling off a heist. And the heist is to get all the Infinity Stones. Create the gauntlet. So I think it's really great that they've gone back to that type of style of film for inspiration for this upcoming movie. So it's going to be really fantastic, Rick. That's thrown such an interesting twist for me. The fact that the film is really going to be primarily, and this is what he's saying, he could be pulling our legs for all we know, but he's saying this next Avengers movie is going to be primarily told by the bad guy's point of view.
Which is good. I like it. It's a huge, mind-blowing.
And you know what? Marvel, they've earned our trust. They can take as many risks as they want with their films. We're all going to see them no matter what. That's all I've got for movies this week, Rick.
That's it? No clips this week?
No clips this week. We don't need to. We're not dictated by clips. They're watching this clip. So let's move on to streaming.
All right, guys, let's get into some bit of streaming. I'm going to hit into Stan. Now, I've just started watching this show. I did hear about this show. I think it got released last year, but it just hit Stan. It's called Claws. Now, you get the first season, all 10 eps. They go around to 45, 55 minutes. And it stars Niecy Nash. Now, if you don't know who she is, she was the black African-American lady in Reno 911.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She was, So she does that more of that comedic side to her, but in this role, she's more of a badass in this, and she is phenomenal in this. I actually really, really enjoyed this. I'm probably halfway through the season at the moment. So basically what it is she owns a nail salon, and she launders drug money through her salon. But halfway through it, the guy's the kingpin, I guess. He screws her over, doesn't pay her the money that she's owed, and then she just goes all badass on these guys. And it is really, really good. So my pick definitely for Stan is definitely get on to Claws, guys. So yeah, get on that one.
Brilliant.
Moving over to Netflix. Let's talk a bit of Trekkie news. Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, so if you're a Star Trek fan, these are weekly episodes every Monday, which will appear on Netflix. So basically, it's based 10 years before Kirk, Spock, and the Enterprise. The USS Discovery discovers new worlds and life forms as one Starfleet officer learns to understand all things alien. So I watched the first couple of eps. was a little bit slow for me, but then it started to pick up. I guess if you're a real diehard Star Trek fan, I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. I mean, what are your thoughts on it, Jace?
Look, someone who grew up with watching Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager, those three particularly, I think Star Trek Discovery. It's fact that people who don't normally watch Star Trek in that way, yourself, you did find it a bit boring. But essentially, Star Trek is real about science fiction.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be Star Wars. JJ made these new Star Trek films to be like Star Wars. But Star Trek is really a study of human behaviour. That's all it's always ever been. So the fact of the matter is, I love this new series because they are trying to capture that old school Star Trek concept of actually delving into human behaviour, social problems, but putting the veneer of science fiction over the top of it. This is great. I really love the main cast. I can't remember the actress names who's playing the main lead. Absolutely phenomenal. Special effects look like cinema quality too.
For what it is for a show, it's pretty good.
It's really, really, really impressive. I'm a big fan. I think it's a great show.
So, get on that, guys. So, hey, look, let's flick over to a clip of Star Trek Discovery and see what you guys think.
Oh, boom, Sean Marge!
Starships Clark, Shran, Taplanahoth, Kerala, Sue, Rye, Air.
There you go, guys. Let us know what you think. Moving on to Foxtel. Foxtel do a lot of pop-up channels, as you guys know. We've discussed this. They've got a really, really good one this month. It's called Space Month at the moment. So that is 8:30 p.m. Wednesdays from the 1st of November on the Discovery Science. So basically, it's everything about space. Anything you want to know, it covers everything. So if you are one of those guys and want to know everything about what's up there, then it's definitely worth a watch, guys, if you like those type of, shows. So, definitely get on that, guys. Definitely.
Cool.
So, that's it for streaming.
Is that it for streaming?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's go play some games. All right, guys. Now, hang on a sec. We've got technical difficulties. That's all right. We've got it going.
There we go.
Keep it moving. All right, my first story in gaming this week is basically how gaming is helping educate people as well as, besides destroying people. Because we always know that games and the military have had a very good relationship recently. With now a lot of the kids that played video games now, some of them actually fly drones. In that kind of military space. But what's great is that sometimes video game technology can be used for good. And I think this is a perfect example. Yale researchers have developed a video game designed to educate young people on sexual health.
Wow, okay.
STDs and HIV, and teaching kids through video games about the dangers, about the pitfalls, the pros and cons. Not to tell them that they shouldn't, but just to give them the proper education in a way that isn't ramming it down their throats. And I think this is absolutely
Is it a game that they play?
It is a game. It is
game-based?
absolutely
Yeah.
game-based. They do it. They basically put elements of different type of game styles and they put it together in one form.
It kind of makes sense, Kids are into the gaming,
Play
so...
Forward, Elm Street Stories is one of the titles, as they call it. And it's a role-playing video game. And that's where they actually go through a variety of challenges.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, each one is fictional, but it's based in real-life situations.
Okay.
So, look, it's a fantastic concept. I mean, it was led by the Feline as a research team that headed up, and they had 300 students, all ranged from like 11 to 14.
Wow.
And they got them to test it out, and certainly the results were very, very positive.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We all love playing video games, but sometimes we can use this technology to educate the future about certain very important things, such as sexual health.
It's amazing, coming back from this, seeing how much technology has advanced over the years. Back when we were young, learning all this type of stuff, it was just all in books. Now it's just moving into that's the one. Yeah, I think everyone saw that. So,
but obviously,
there you go.
We moved on from that, and matured with that, and we're using things like this.
It's great to see.
To help because, let's face it, kids these days are seeing way more X-rated material because of the internet. They're exposed to stuff like that at such an early age now. So it's really, really important that we educate them properly. But let's move on to actually something probably completely different, but still a lot of fun. Just like, Super Mario Odyssey again. We talked about this last week.
We did.
We said it was coming out. Well, it's come out, and holy crap, it is fast selling. Super Mario is out there in a big bad way. It's probably the biggest hit that they've had since the new Super Mario Brothers, which was released on the Wii.
Yeah.
And I reckon that was about 9-10 years ago. That was their biggest selling release, and it's outsold that. It looks like it's probably going to want to be the biggest games of the year.
Wow.
There's a guy at work who I actually work with who are so jealous of this guy. And not because he's a talented singer and a guitarist. He's also a very cool guy. No, I'm jealous because this guy said to me the other day, he goes, "You like video games, don't you?" And I went, "Yeah, of course." And he goes, "Oh, I just bought Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch." Mate, jealous as this game is, as he said, it is unbelievable. So, look, I think I said it last week too. This is a console selling game. In other words, people buy the console based on that game. So, keep an eye out for Super Mario Odyssey out there. I'm pretty sure you walk into any JB Hi-Fi, which is a game store here, or any kind of retail outlet that sells video games, and you'll see Super Mario Odyssey.
Beautiful.
Fantastic. Now, the last story I have for the week on gaming is really the release of Call of Duty a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Now, Call of Duty World War II is out. Now, obviously, right now, there are millions of angry, young, frustrated men yelling at each other and calling each other obscene things on the internet as we speak. Call of Duty, certainly, I don't even know what number this is in the series. I think it's game number 10 or 11, or, geez, I've lost count. So, but this one now, I mean, 48-player social space. So, 48 players playing against each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is pretty crazy. And like most games these days now, they're giving you 70% of the game, and 3 months later, they'll charge you for an add-on for it, like they're doing with all games these days.
That's how they make the money.
Mate, they do. These things make billions of dollars, all right? And people just keep spending their money, and they buy it, and all these guys will play it for a couple of weeks, and they'll complain about it. Then they'll say they've been ripped off, but they'll spend the money again on buying the same friggin' game next year. So if you love Call of Duty, which is most of you who like gaming out there, you probably already got it. That's all I've got for gaming this week, mate.
That's it.
Alex, it's time to talk.
Music. All right, guys. Big news for, I guess, the music festivals that are coming out. If you are into, I guess, metal music, we've lost a lot of, like, good festivals, especially Soundwave here in Australia. The good thing about these music festivals are you pay for that one ticket, but then you get, like, you know, a big range of bands out there, probably popular bands that you want to go see, and there's also bands that you might not have seen, and it's really, really good to just check them out. So there has been some rumours that have popped around on the internet, but it has been made official. The Download Festival will be launched in Australia. So this is very, very exciting for us. It will be debuting in Melbourne next year. There'll be 28 acts. Performing at the Flemington Race Course on Saturday, 24th of March. I can tell you, I can confirm that Korn will be performing, which is fantastic news, and Limp Bizkit as well. There are a whole heap of other bands, but they will be doing more of a lineup. Will be announced, lineup will be announced on Thursday, on 9th of November at 9 a.m. So we will keep you posted on the lineups of the bands which will be hitting us in Australia. So looking really, really forward to it. So yeah, check that out. All right. Another music news here in Australia as well, because we know me and Jace are from Australia. We like to cover all things coming to Australia, and it is the final countdown. Europe are coming to Australia after 35 years. They are making their way to Australia finally.
So they haven't been here?
They have never been here.
They've never been here before?
No, never been here before.
Okay.
Never been here before. So it's 35 years officially over with the Swedish hard rock making their way to Australia in 2018, and they are hitting it big. They're coming to Adelaide, Melbourne, Perth, Sydney and Brisbane, so they're doing right around the whole country, guys. So we are looking forward to that. We'll keep you up to date with when tickets are available for those guys if you are interested in seeing Europe.
I have a challenge for you and everyone else in the audience.
Yeah.
Name me one other hit song from Europe besides the Final Countdown.
There you go.
There's your challenge.
There's your challenge, guys.
And if you can give me a one that I go, yeah, absolutely, prove to me it was a hit, you will get, and I will deliver a free pop cap to you, figure, in the mail. You got to prove.
There you guys, you heard it straight from Jace. There you go, guys. The challenge is on. Fantastic. Get on it. All right. What else we got? The last bit of news that I've got, which I thought was really, really cool. This is again in Australia. This is more to do, I guess, I don't know if it's going to be leading this way. They did one with Elvis Presley, but it wasn't a hologram. So I'm talking about Roy Orbison, who was a rock legend back in the 70s. They're going to be doing a hologram concert here in Australia. So they're going to have a hologram of him with an orchestra on stage, and he'll be performing his hits, his famous hits. So I reckon that's really, really cool. And he'll be doing, they will be performing in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, and Adelaide. So this is the first time this has ever happened. So I'm really keen to have a look and see how they actually come up with this hologram.
Yeah, mate, as you're telling that story, it makes you think, I mean, at the beginning of that technology, we still are. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they can do hologram, but I can see a future.
I think this is the way it's going to go.
Where you can have an artist filming a concert in Germany, and that artist, via satellite live, could be hologram projected into stadiums.
It could go that way. It could go that way.
I mean, doing that, if you could do it, we could set up a hologram, what's going on from old footage, then you'll be able to stream that one day. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. Fascinating stuff.
So they did it with Elvis Presley, I mentioned before, but they did it with a big screen and so forth. Yeah, so it wasn't a hologram. So that was, I guess this is probably the next step into that evolution of it. But I'm interested, is it actually him standing there in the middle?
Did they do a hologram 2-pack?
I don't know. As a concert performance.
Yeah, I think that was the first time.
Probably. But this was here. Well, the first time it's ever happened here in Australia.
Okay.
So, but I'm interested to see if he's actually standing in the middle of the stage, and then you can see hologram light.
He should be moving around.
Yeah. So very interesting to see.
Technology may be limited, but it should be fascinating.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all we have for music, guys.
And that's it for the weekly spread, guys. I think we've talked about all the stories that we felt like talking about this week. But if you guys have got any stories that you would like to mention, or you'd like to correct us about something, or hell, you might even be able to prove to me that there is a song besides the Final Countdown that was famous by Europe.
There's got to be a lot of people Googling.
Anyway you want to do that, you need to talk to us, you need to contact us. Rick, how do they do?
Guys, all you have to do is give us that comment down below and give us that answer to that question that Jace just gave you guys. Follow us all on our social media sites. Give us a like on our Facebook page. Give us a like on our video, and just please subscribe to our channel. We would really, really appreciate it. It is as easy and as simple as that.
Okay,
that's it, guys.
The winner of that challenge.
That's it.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.
See ya.